Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of Pawn Wars. Today we're going to be looking at the bishop. The bishop starts on c1, f1 for white, c8, and f8 for black. If you do not have the notation at the bottom on your board, just remember white on right and count 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. That'll be your f from the right side. And 1, 2, 3 will be C from your left side. As long as you remember white on right, you can find those center squares where C1 is, F1 is, C8, and F8. The bishop moves on the diagonal, so it goes in the shape of an X. When the bishop moves, it can go to any one of these squares, all the way down, all the way up. I can stop on C4, or I can go all the way up and stop on C6. I'm able to choose any one of these squares. However, the bishop cannot jump over pieces. The black square bishop can go to any one of these guys, but it cannot go to H6. I would have to capture black, allow black to make a move, and then be able to move to H6. When the bishop is capturing, we'll set the board up on their starting squares. The bishop would go to H3. Black would be allowed to make a move at this point if we were playing a game of chess, but because it is just an example, we will keep moving the light square bishop. As you can see, I can move around the board and make captures. You get 2 bishops for each game. You get the light square bishop and the dark square bishop that start on those squares. Notice every time I made a move with the light square bishop, it always ended on a light square. So if you are jumping really far away and you end up on a dark square, that would be wrong. You're not allowed to do that. So remember what color square you're moving the bishop. And if you're swiping all the way up, make sure it lands on the right color, not the wrong color. If you have the dark square bishop, it would also move along the diagonal in the same manner. Noticing we also stayed on the dark squares. As you can see, I've set the board up for Pawn Wars. Bishops are worth 3 points. Pawns are only worth 1 point. It's important to know that so you don't give away a bishop for just a pawn. You can give away 1 bishop for 3 pawns, but giving away 1 bishop for just 1 pawn would be like giving away $3 to just get $1 back. So if that helps you, think of it like money. Let's look at what would happen if we played a game of Pawn Wars using our bishops to make breaks or protecting our pawns. So we'll start the game out looking relatively the same with e4 and e5. And last time, we moved this pawn up to protect him. But this time I want to do a different route. I'm going to move the b pawn. And I'm able to play bishop to b2, and I'm able to protect the pawn in the same way I did last time with the pawn going to c3. So this time, if I want to go ahead and jump the pawn up and he captures me, I can recapture with the bishop. If he blocks a second time, adding 2 defenders on it, well, it's a good thing I have the bishop. I could move the pawn up and do the same thing as last time, and this makes like a little battery. The bishop shoots through the pawn. So when I move the pawn up, black would capture, I can capture back, black would capture, and then I capture back. Notice we're both missing 2 pawns now, so that was an equal trade. Try to use these techniques when you're playing Pawn Wars, but remember, only the pawn making it to the end can win the game. If a bishop were to make it to the end, like this, that would not win you the game. It has to be a pawn. You can use your bishops to capture all of black's pieces or help your pawn make it down. Try these techniques out while playing Pawn Wars. Make sure you see how the bishops work with pawns. Notice pawns capture diagonal, bishops move diagonal. That's very helpful. They can work with each other when capturing things. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for part 3 when we bring in another piece.